What is your American dream?
My American dreams at this moment, living the blissful aspect of knowing that I could be free of my detachments. If I could detach anything that is creating pain, and that this country has allowed me to become the best version of me, I think that is called the American dream for me.
The American dream too is about realization. The most important thing in my life is to find my home. I'm so grateful to be living in America, and it's such an experience for me. To connect with my soul is the way that I'm living my American dream.
Living the American dream in the wildest dream. Who would I ever thought that I was going to live in New York City, having these amazing choices and possibilities? America has been the best gift I ever had, because it has allowed me to become the best version of who I am.
Everyone has a right to the American dream.
Groundhog Sam! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh! Hello everybody! Groundhog Sam here! Just enjoying some tunes. You know, I'm really enjoying that Groundhog Chuck song that we heard over at Groundhog Day at Staten Island Zoo. I was just enjoying that. Yeah, it's got a real nifty beat. I hope you had a great weekend. I sure did. And speaking of Groundhog Chuck, to all you naysayers out there, have you noticed how beautiful it is out today? Spring, the first day of spring is March 20th. And for all you people out there who thought the groundhogs didn't know what they were talking about, it's a beautiful, beautiful sunny day. I'm out here enjoying the tunes, getting some vitamin D, and feeding my little friends, the squirrels and the pigeons. Pigeons are not part of my ilk, but certainly they deserve respect as well. So I'm out here enjoying the weather, feeding the critters some trail mix, and enjoying my Groundhog Chuck music. Get ready for spring. It's spring and I got a spring in my step. I do. I mean, I always have a spring in my step, but even more so now. I don't even care that it was just daylight savings time and we all lost an hour, because it means spring is coming and the weather will stay lighter later. I hope you all got out today to enjoy this lovely weather on the East Coast. Anyway, did you miss Friday's episode of Bradshaw Live? In case you did, Friday, March 8th was International Women's Day. And to celebrate, Jennifer from the Cubicle joined Brad and Jonathan for an International Women's Day game, where Jennifer would read noteworthy women and their accomplishments, and the guys had to figure out who she was talking about. And guess what? They did pretty well. They tied 3-3. I was pretty impressed. And now is the time you've all been waiting for. It's time for Bradshaw Live, starring Brad, Bernstein, and Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias. Enjoy. Oh man, I love how the breeze is running through my fur. I'm feeling good today, yeah.
Hello, party people in the house!
Woo!
Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias in the house!
Oh yeah.
Belgium
Hey.
Kim!
Not in the house.
Not in the house! But she will be here next week.
Woo!
That's right. Boy,
I'm
we
excited about that.
we did that in a
I
cappella.
know. That was
Me
pretty
and
good.
you.
That was.
We didn't even
Listen,
plan
I'm
that.
telling you, this past week,
We
almost
have
2
been,
weeks
we have been
now.
in simpatico,
Yeah,
right?
I love you, man.
I love you, man. Love you, man.
Right.
There was a movie like that, right?
Yeah,
There were like two guys
that's
like
actually
like,
a really good movie.
Yeah, I haven't.
Actually, I was
what?
an extra in that movie.
You were an extra in that movie?
Yeah, that's when
Yeah?
I used to do extra work.
Really?
Yeah, it was like a hotel scene. I was like the bellhop guy.
Yeah.
So
Did you
random.
did you hit the editing room floor? You were literally in the movie.
No, I was literally in the movie.
You were literally in
yeah,
the movie.
I was the bellhop guy.
Yeah?
It was like towards the end,
Yeah?
about the during the wedding.
Were you the guy who was like had his hand
No.
out waiting
It
for
was
the tip?
literally like a shot, like a pan shot.
Like you're like
you
you
just
had
see
to,
a tall, skinny black guy
you had,
pushing
you had to like stop the movie, zoom in, and then
Exactly.
be like, That's so blurry, man. That's
yeah,
ain't
you definitely wouldn't.
That's
you
not
wouldn't,
you. That's too blurry.
It's definitely me, but you wouldn't be able to tell.
All right. Sounds good.
That's a good
Anyway,
movie, though.
It
I
is a
love
good
that
movie. I only saw it once a long time ago.
That's a good movie.
But we got to say hello
yeah,
to some really beautiful people out there,
absolutely.
starting with Dionne Watson, beautiful woman, Yvonne Steele, another beautiful woman, Angela Barrett, Roni Ali, Lisa Bling Rose. And, listen, everybody's going to be beautiful. I can't tell everyone they're beautiful.
Beautiful infinity
They are.
to everybody.
They are. The entire squad is beautiful. So I got to stop right here.
Yeah, you
Someone's
see?
going to say,
Right.
Brad, you don't
didn't
think I'm beautiful
you didn't
too?
call me beautiful.
Huh, they get insulted, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody out there is beautiful. All right, let's leave it at that. Yvonne Steele, Andre Spence, Angela Barrett, how are you? Ifeawana, Lavonde Tucker, Chuck Berry.
Chuck Berry.
Yes, you didn't watch The Groundhog.
Yeah.
Jenny Goldberg
Oh,
saying
yes, I
woot
did,
woot. And Petrona Collins. And who else we got here? Sonia Cole. She says, hey, do I need a lawyer if my case is being held for review for 4 months after my interview? Sounds like you might. Kennedy Roy, Asset Lindo, Yvonne Steele. And by the way, everyone who has to ask the question, do I need a lawyer? The answer is you need a lawyer, right?
Always.
Always. All right,
Yeah,
Yvonne.
ask a lawyer if you need a lawyer.
Right. That's like. That's
Asking a doctor, do I need a doctor to perform surgery?
Yeah, something. Yeah, right. Exactly. That's like asking NASA if you need an astronaut to go to space.
There you
right?
go.
Right.
Right.
Do you need an astronaut to go to space, NASA?
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
By the way, the pew pew pew. I got off the subway today and I was walking to the office, like 10 in the morning, and I was thinking about that. I just started laughing on the street, and I was like a block away, and then all of a sudden in my head, I don't know why, like you just random thoughts at your head, and this is absolutely true. Okay, Julia the Tricaster guy, this is absolutely true. I was about a block away, and all of a sudden I have in my head going. Pew, pew, pew. And I have like the little, little like tiny little gun that I would have, for Space Force.
Right.
You know, like you can't even get the finger around the trigger because it's like pew, pew.
Julian the Tricaster guy. That means that Brad thinks about you.
I do.
Outside of the show.
Meanwhile,
Why does it sound like him?
have you checked out Julian the Tricaster guy? I walked in. I said, "There's an imposter," because he used to have this long.
He cut his
He
hair?
cut all his hair off.
What?
So I came in this morning. I said, "What the hell happened to that guy, Julian the Tricaster? He got shot and killed."
Yeah.
I said, "There's imposter here." I said, "Get out of my office and bring me back Julian the Tricaster guy."
It's going to have to grow it back out now.
Yeah. Meanwhile, on YouTube, we got to say hi to Marcine Frazier. Jalove. Back it up, Ricky says, good evening, everybody. Change name says, squad up, Eulette Wilson. How you doing? Says, happy Monday, Kimberly, and welcome back. She's not back yet, but she'll be back next week. We do miss her very much. Carol the Top, Cat Tigress 2 Anderson. Afzal A is in the house. And Ashley Thomas, Marcine Frazier. Sanisha Geddes says hi guys. Sanisha Geddes could be a new person.
Yeah,
so
Sanisha
welcome.
Geddes.
Welcome. Muhammad Tunkara also saying hello.
Yeah.
Also maybe a new person. So welcome all and welcome all of everybody.
Yes.
All the beautiful people out there.
You have people admiring your new haircut and clean shaven face.
What are they saying?
We had, I think it was Afzal A said, Brad got a haircut?
That's right. Afzal A is very observant man.
Very observant.
Very
Yeah.
observant man, that Afzal A.
They like it.
Yes.
They're liking it.
Yeah, that's good. Somebody told me they liked me with very short hair.
It's very nice.
They said do really, really, really short.
It's very clean cut. You
Yeah.
get to see your face.
Right.
Those beautiful green eyes.
Thank you very much.
Look.
You're all right, it's enough. So you were doing really good until you start telling me about my eyes. And,
Where's the dreamy sound?
Yeah,
I need
exactly.
the dreamy sound.
And like the Instagram thing where you have like the hearts.
Yeah, exactly.
I forgot what it's like in the slow motion or whatever.
Yeah, I know exactly what
You know
you're
what I'm talking
talking about. Yeah.
I was because the reason I only think about that was I was looking out my window last night from my new apartment, and there's like an American flag across the street. Mm-hmm. So I said, oh, that could be a good video because at night you see the American flag kind of waving at night, and I did it on Instagram
with the hearts.
With the hearts, I'm like, it doesn't.
It
yeah, and then
no,
I'm
you
like,
gotta do it on somebody.
Yeah, and then I'm like, all right, I'll try the fire one, but then I'm like, oh my god, the whole building's on fire with that. I said no. So then the whole idea of filming it just ended. But I was like 3 minutes out the window. I'm like, nah. By the way, everybody, I have a new Instagram account. Talking about my Instagram, so that's why I'm thinking about it. I've only had it up so far for 48 hours. So the old account, forget. Okay, so it's a new account if you do want to follow me. And it's really going to all be about immigration and my law office and my travels around the world. And it's called Real Brad Bernstein, at Real Brad Bernstein.
Real one.
At the real one.
Brad is a celebrity, man.
Well, I am not a celebrity yet. But hopefully one day I'll get on the D list with you.
Hey, I'm living large and in charge on the D list. I feel great here.
So you can follow me at Real Brad Bernstein on Instagram if you choose to.
Yeah, you guys should.
Yeah, and Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias has lots of people following him already, and they can follow Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias at
Jonathan Elias TV.
And of course, if you want to follow Bradshaw Live on Instagram, you can also follow Bradshaw Live at Bradshaw Live as well.
Absolutely.
On Facebook, we are Bradshaw Live.
There you go.
And on YouTube, we are shockingly called Bradshaw Live.
Ooh.
Now, one thing, I have an announcement to make about Facebook Bradshaw Live, Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias. We have two accounts on Facebook right now. Okay? How? It's a good question, how? In our infinite wisdom, we decided to make an account for law offices of Spar and Bernstein and for Bradshaw Live on Facebook, in addition to having a Bradshaw Live group. Starting next Monday, we're going to be making announcements on our Bradshaw Live Facebook page. We're not going to take it down, but it will be a retired page. We're not going to add anything to the Bradshaw Live Facebook page. Starting on Monday, a week from today, we are going to broadcast our Bradshaw Live on what is now Law Offices of Spar and Bernstein Facebook page, but it will be renamed Bradshaw Live Facebook page. So we can only have one Facebook page. There's no reason to have multiple.
This is
it
true.
just doesn't make any sense to us why we're doing this. So we're going to have one Facebook page. We're not taking down the old one. We're just going to leave it there. So, I mean, you can go and visit us there. But from now on, a week from today, the Law Offices of Spar and Bernstein Facebook page will be the page that is broadcasting the Bradshaw Live every day at 5:30 and 7:30. Why would we do this? Because we have so many more followers.
You got a lot more followers.
We have 103,000 followers on Law Offices of Spar and Bernstein and 14,000 on Bradshaw Live, many of whom...
Which is still a lot.
Which is still a lot. Many of whom also follow Law Offices of Spar and Bernstein.
So everybody has to follow that page.
That page as well. And I'm going to ask the guy who goes, pew, 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 to... You like when I do that?
I do.
Pew, pew.
Look like a character.
Don't I?
Yeah.
The guy who does that to scroll something across to let everybody know that a week from today, we'll make announcements on the Bradshaw Live Facebook page every day this week. But next week, the live broadcast is going to be on what is now the Law Offices of Spar and Bernstein page that we are renaming Bradshaw Live.
Perfect.
Page. How's that sound?
I like that. I like that.
And with that said, I'll give myself.
Yeah, I know. I see.
And with that said, Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias, while I stretch to get ready for schmoozing with Brad, let everybody know what they should be doing.
Absolutely. Everybody, what we need you guys to do right now is share this page right now. Share this video on social media, all social media platforms that you can share. So on Facebook, all you have to do is click that little arrow where it says share to anybody's page, private message them. You guys can make a group on your private instant message and you can send it all out as a blast. It's so easy, all right? And make sure you show your interaction. Show us what you feel. Anything we're talking about. We're going to talk about some very interesting topics soon. So make sure you let us know how you guys feel about that. Press that like button, love button, smiley face, wow face, sad face, whatever you're feeling. And make sure you also type to us. You guys go in that comments, light up that comment section, because when you do that, it shows interaction, and then they'll start throwing out our show to more platforms. So you guys have to do this, because this is, we got to do this together. And now YouTube, we also want interaction on there as well, but most importantly, to share, make sure you copy that link and send it in a WhatsApp group, and make sure everybody subscribes right now. Subscribe and press that like button on YouTube as well. And now we're gonna I want you guys to also follow the other page, Law Offices of Spar and Bernstein. All right, you guys, make sure you do that right now as well, because next week we will be broadcasting on that page. And now what we're gonna be doing is, I practiced a little bit, schmoozing with Brad.
Yeah, that's you still said smoozing. It's schmoozing. Schmoozing with Brad. All right, so the massage parlor owner from Robert Kraft, we're still on her. She's still making some hard news here.
Really? That is crazy.
Yeah.
This is the previous owner.
This is the previous owner. Apparently, she has been selling access to Donald Trump, the happy ending owner of the former happy ending owner of the massage parlor, where Robert Kraft was caught in the act, has been selling fees to other Chinese people to come and visit Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago. So she has had access to Donald Trump, and she has been charging other Chinese executives money to be her guest at Mar-a-Lago to visit Donald Trump or say hello to Donald Trump.
What?
So
first of all, how does she even have access to Donald Trump like this?
Well, she goes to his parties, I guess, or at Mar-a-Lago somehow. So Yang, we're going to find out right now, because it's all here in the cards, Jonathan.
That is crazy.
It's all here in the cards. Yang, she goes by the name of Cindy. Her husband is Zubin. Started something called GY US Investments in 2017. She did this after selling all of the happy ending massage parlors / prostitution parlors that she owned. The company describes itself on its website, which is all in Chinese, as an international business consulting firm. But the firm notes that its services also address clients looking to make high-level connections in the United States. On its page displaying a photo of Mar-a-Lago, Yang's company says its activities for clients have including providing them the opportunity to interact with the president, the American Minister of Commerce. There is no such person as Minister of Commerce, so I don't know who that is, and other political figures. The company boasted has arranged taking photos with the president and suggests it could even set up a White House and Capitol Hill dinner.
That is insane. She's really, I love what Levon D. Tucker said. She said that's called a hustle.
That is called a hustle.
And it is, and you know what? You cannot be mad at her.
She
is hustling these. I was
Yes.
about to say something else. She's hustling these men.
As Jilly B just whispered in my ear, she says, it means the grift is real. The grift is definitely real.
Absolutely. She's a real madame.
Yeah.
She's a madame.
So she and her relatives have donated $42,000 to congressional figures, including $16,000 to Trump's campaign. In return, she's charging thousands and thousands of dollars because she has access. Yeah. She got that back tenfold. She got back that tenfold. So the GY Investments website lists upcoming events at Mar-a-Lago at which Yang's clients presumably can mingle with Trump and members of the Trump family. Includes something called the International Leaders Elite Forum, where Trump's sister Elizabeth Trump is going to speak. Attendees at the site will also include Chinese elites from various countries, including the United States. Another event for which Yang's firm says it can provide access is Trump's annual New Year's celebration at Mar-a-Lago. Elsewhere on the website, the firm boasts that GY Company arranged a number of guests to attend the 2019 New Year's Eve dinner.
So now do you think, since she's made these hard news and everybody knows that she's kind of hustling guys to go to Trump's parties, do you think that they're going to ban her from these parties?
My guess would be yes. I don't think it's in Trump's interest to get
$42,000. She's probably pissed.
I would think so.
That's a lot of money, and she had a good little system going.
Yeah, but she was a human trafficker.
Yes, she was.
I mean, you could laugh about it and say the grift is in, but according to the police complaint, she was responsible for human trafficking of women and fooling them to making them believe that they were coming to do some other job when in fact they were stuck at a massage parlor, sleeping in the massage parlor and having their passports taken away, and they speak no English. So really, there was, although they weren't chained to the massage parlor, there was enough incentive for the women not to run away, including embarrassing them back at home and letting their families know what they were doing. Mm-hmm. So she was a human trafficker.
I want to know what everybody out there thinks, though. Do you guys think that she was just a woman getting her money, you know, hustle by any means, or do you feel like she's
a real criminal?
Yeah, or do you think she's a real criminal? I really want to know what you guys feel, because, you know, women, yeah, you gotta get your money any way you can, and she's hustling these men now.
She's a criminal because she's a human trafficker.
Right, but that was the past.
But that's how she was able to make the money. She's donating money from human trafficking to Donald Trump's campaign, okay, and then charging other Chinese money to go meet Donald Trump. Which one is the best? Any way you look at that, the first sentence is a crime.
The first one is a crime, and
the
that's
second
bad.
one, the second one is
I don't feel too bad about.
Yeah.
You got rich Chinese men paying her to go see Donald Trump. That second one, I don't really feel too bad about.
Tamika Nelson says these grown-ass businessmen are damn perverts.
Oh, they are.
They are damn perverts.
They are, because they all got families.
All right. By the way, it's not just grown-ass businessmen. There's a lot of
pervs out there
that may or may not be businessmen. Mm-hmm. And Wendy Brown says, if you're doing anything with number 45, you're a criminal. It doesn't really matter. Right. It doesn't really matter.
Shaking his hand. Criminal. Yeah.
So, and RYU Cage says, given access to Trump makes sense for her because of what if you're looking for a huge a-hole?
Okay.
Okay.
I have a very, very, very good feeling that she's supplied some women's for Trump. Mm-hmm. And for the family.
And by the way, RYU Cage has
Ryu Cage.
RYU Cage.
Ryu.
That's his name. RYU.
I know, Ryu.
Oh, Ryu. Is that
from
how you
Street Fighter.
What?
It's from Street Fighter.
Okay, I didn't know that.
I
don't know that. That's beyond my.
Not mine.
That's beyond my knowledge. That is beyond. Well, what's his name?
Ryu.
Ryu Cage said, well, to be fair, she's still one of the cleanest Trump associates out there.
Hey!
Right.
That is true. They are definitely doing a lot worse than what she is.
Meanwhile, the orange guy, he went down to Alabama, and while was touring the horrifying tornado destruction, stopped to sign some autographs for people. And the only thing that was around was the Bible.
Oh my gosh.
So he started signing.
I can't.
It's like the devil signing the Bible.
It is.
Can you imagine?
Are you serious?
Whoever gave him the Bible allowed the devil to sign the Bible, right?
I'm surprised his hand didn't burn.
Yeah. So Trump, it says here, Trump perked up the church crowd, which cheered when he autographed the cover of a 12-year-old boy's Bible. The president and Melania Trump together signed the cover of the 10-year-old girl's Bible, decorated with pink camouflage, and one woman at the church called Trump's visit a godsend. The Smithsonian's curator of religion, Peter Manescu, told the Washington Post that past presidents have also signed Bibles, including George W. Bush and Ronald Reagan. However, Southern historian Wayne Flint, a Baptist deacon and Auburn University professor emeritus, told Alabama.com that signing a Bible is right next to sacrilege. That's a holy book.
Right.
There is nothing that shames this president. Now, Twitter was up in storm over this. Okay, because everyone on Twitter has some things to say.
Of course.
All right. So Judd Legum said, in Trump's defense, he wrote as much of the Bible as art of the deal. Ms. Betty Bowers wrote, in Alabama, Trump signed the cover of Bible, so his record is still intact. He's never actually opened one. All right. Peter Dow said, Donald J. Trump is signing Bibles. The man whose vicious and human border policy violates the fundamental teachings of Jesus is now signing Bibles. Ryan Knight, when the man who embodies all 7 deadly sins, lust, gluttony, greed, sloth, wrath, envy, and pride, is signing Bibles, it means it's time to reevaluate your religion.
Hey.
And Sally Pitts said the crowd cheering when Donald Trump took a picture with Gatlin, a 12-year-old boy who has been volunteering at Providence Church all week. The president also signed Bibles. I don't know what that had to do with anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Meanwhile, while he's signing Bibles, and is supposedly, and the crowd is cheering him on, that he is a true man of religion and Christianity and Jesus Christ, and is a true man of everything that stands for. Nearly 9 months of continued Trump family separations, which by all accounts Christianity does not abide by. Nearly 9 months after the Trump administration officially rescinded its policy of separating migrant families who have illegally crossed the border, more than 200 migrant children have still being separated from their parents today. And if you remember, last week we just spoke with Cindy Ortiz Flores, whose 18-month-old daughter was separated from her father when they reached the U.S.-Mexican border. So it is still happening to this day. The latest data reported to a federal judge monitoring one of the most controversial of President Trump's immigration policies shows that 245 children have still been removed from their families and not been reunited with them. And there's still images of crying mothers and children to the border last year, and it prompted an intense backlash across party lines from all 4 living former First Ladies and Melania Trump expressing horror at this policy. Yet it still goes on, and Trump has the audacity to go to Alabama and sign Bibles. Lord have mercy. Right?
That's crazy.
Right? Lord have mercy on that. What else is happening? There was a jetliner crashed in Ethiopia, killing 157 people from 35 countries, similar to the Lion Air crash from several months ago in Indonesia. It's apparently what happens is that when this plane is taking off, it's such a sophisticated plane that autopilot will take over when it causes some sort of feeling that the plane is off kilter. I don't know the type of terminology, but apparently it pushes the nose down automatically.
What?
And there is a procedure that the pilots have to follow to be able to reconfigure this auto navigation. And the Lion Air pilots didn't follow it. We don't know what happened with these Ethiopian air pilots.
So this is what happened with the Indonesian
This is what happened with the Indonesian one, that there was a procedure to follow when this autopilot came on and it came on right when the plane took off and put the nose down, which crashed the plane. And the pilots couldn't get out of autopilot. Apparently they think it may have happened again, but we don't know for sure. It's all brand new, and it could be a bug in the software. It could have been pilot error. We don't know yet. Okay, but there is a procedure to follow when this autopilot comes on, because all these planes are so sophisticated now. The pilots really are just pressing a button. They're really not flying planes anymore. So you've taken the human.
There's only a couple airlines.
You've taken basically the human element out of all of this. Now we don't know what happened here. I am making a supposition. I'm not a. But my belief is that based on what happened in the Lion Air incident, and that this happened again, it was some sort of. My guess is, and I'm not calling out Ethiopian Airlines in any way, shape, or form, that the pilots did not do what they were supposed to do to take the plane out of autopilot, and the plane crashed. Because it was a similar situation to Lion Air, because I'm a big traveler, so I always read a lot about these airplane crashes, because I like to know
what's going on.
Every time the pilot tried to put the nose back up, the autopilot put it back down. And apparently, from eyewitnesses, this is what they saw the plane go up, down, up, down, up, down. So my supposition is that it's the same thing that happened again.
Because I know they said that it was within 6 minutes of takeoff. So, but then he called for an emergency landing.
So we don't know. It was a clear day. There was no bad weather.
And it was a senior pilot, so they said he was a really good pilot as well.
But the co-pilot only had 200 hours.
Ooh.
Yes, so they said it was very strange that they had a very, very senior pilot.
And they only spoke about
a co-pilot who only had a total of 200 hours flying. So we don't know who was in control of that plane also at the beginning as well. Unfortunately, there's 157 people dead, which is the tragedy of all of this. And this is a brand new airplane that was in service for 90 days. This should not be happening on a brand new airplane. Many international airlines have now grounded the entire Boeing fleet.
Good.
American airlines have not. The FAA says the plane is airworthy. Southwest Airlines and Alaska Airlines fly this plane every day, thousands of times a day. And from what I understand, their pilots, they believe that this is a similar problem to what happened with Lion Air, that the pilot was a pilot error of not being trained properly on how to get out of this autopilot. And they believe that their pilots at Southwest and Alaskan Airlines are properly trained, that this won't happen here in the United States.
Yeah, because I think Southwest is one of the airlines that actually still have their pilots fly the plane manually.
Right. So so I know, but this is a situation where autopilot overtakes overtakes it in a certain situation. Now, I am not a pilot myself. I'm not an air safety expert, or I'm telling you what I know as a layman from what I have read.
From what you read.
Okay. Meanwhile, the Secretary of the United Nations, Antonio Guterres, tweeted that he's deeply saddened by the news this morning of the plane crash in Ethiopia, claiming the lives of all on board, including 32 Kenyans, 18 Canadians, 9 Ethiopians, and 8 passengers each from China, Italy, and the United States. So it was an international group on that plane.
They were going to Kenya, I think, for like United Nations, some kind of.
And he's caused it an absolute global tragedy.
I was scared. I'm not, because my uncle landed in Ethiopia the day before that, and my mom is going to Ethiopia in like 3 weeks. And when you wake up kind of discombobulated and like you wake up to your phone showing this news, I was like, oh my God, wait, when is my mom going? You just like, you don't think. So it really hit close to home, just because this is where my family is from. So
meanwhile, Ethiopian Airlines up to yesterday had a stellar safety record. They were considered the best managed airline in Africa.
They are,
in terms of safety.
Yeah.
Now, years ago, it was you would get on a plane in Africa and pray you would get to the next destination, because Africa had more plane crashes per capita by far. It wasn't even close.
Wow.
A decade ago, 20 years ago, there was a lot of plane crashes. Africa has caught up to the rest of the world.
Wow.
And it is, up until yesterday, was equally as safe to fly in Africa as it was anywhere else in the world. So people are shocked, especially that it's Ethiopian Airlines that had such a stellar record for safety. We don't know what happened. They do know that after the Indonesian investigators said that there was information from a faulty sensor that caused the plane to automatically point the nose down, which is what I just said. And this notice reminded pilots of the procedure. They sent out a procedure. There is a procedure in place when there's a faulty warning from a sensor and the nose goes down, on how to get that sensor to put the nose back up. And it's not apparently it's not intuitive, because the intuition would be pull your joystick up. But then you're fighting the autopilot, which keeps putting the nose down. So there's a different procedure than pulling your joystick up. What that procedure is, I don't know. But that people feel maybe it was not followed again. And that was the problem. We don't know. Meanwhile, U.S. Airlines, as I said, say that their pilots are fully trained on how to deal with this problem. I hope so, because I'm flying tomorrow.
I hope so too.
I hope so for the Brad Squad, or there's no show next week. I'll be fine.
I'm flying on Friday, Southwest, so I hope so too.
Yeah.
Shoot.
So, what else is happening here? Meanwhile, Jussie Smollett, he was indicted on 16 felony counts.
He looks so over it. Look at that face.
Yeah, he's like, are you kidding me? He's like, are you effing kidding me, right?
16?
Yeah. The Empire actor Jussie Smollett was indicted Friday. He was this past Friday on grand jury in Chicago on 16 charges. If he is found guilty on all of these charges, he will face a substantially longer sentence than Paul Manafort got for basically the bank fraud and tax fraud that he committed, in which he netted $30-something million, cheated the government out of. So Paul Manafort, who's a white old dude, okay, gets 4.5 years for stealing $30 million. Doesn't matter how you stole it.
That's crazy.
Okay? It doesn't matter how you stole it.
Right.
You stole it. And he got 4.5 years. The outrage, I hope it doesn't happen. Okay? And I'm not saying Jussie Smollett didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
Okay? But we have to put everything into perspective and treat people equally and treat different crimes and give a punishment that is to each particular crime that is commensurate with the harm done.
Agreed.
The harm done by Manafort was stealing $30 million, perhaps even committing fraud in an election, which he wasn't yet indicted on yet. This is just about tax fraud. Stealing $30 million. Whether he stole it by force or by fraud. You stole $30 million. If you steal it by force and somebody's injured, yes, that is an additional something to consider. But $30 million is a lot of money to steal no matter how you stole it. And we're now going to compare this to Jussie Smollett, who in essence filed a false police report.
That's crazy.
And he is, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Essentially, yeah.
And he's a gay young black man versus an old white dude.
Right.
Who's politically connected.
Right.
This is the difference. Okay? Why did that old white dude who's politically connected get 4.5 years? I don't want to suppose, but I will suppose, because that judge is a Republican and wants Trump to appoint him to a higher level.
Yeah.
Court.
Wow.
Okay. Perhaps. I don't know. I can't get in anybody's mind.
Sheesh.
But of all of the reasons why that he would go from looking at 30 years in jail, which was the governing sentencing guidelines, to changing it to 4.5 years, would that be one of the many reasons that you would consider why?
Absolutely.
Okay. And if Jussie Smollett were to end up in jail and found guilty on all 16 charges, and the judge throws the book at him, he can go away to jail for 20 plus years.
What? And
if that is the case, wouldn't one of the reasons why you think is because he's gay and black?
Absolutely.
So I hope, and I'm not jumping to conclusions, and I don't know what ultimately is going to happen. I don't.
Right.
I just hope it doesn't happen.
That is crazy.
But it's a sad day that in 2019 we still have to consider this.
Yeah.
That this conversation has to happen.
Yeah.
Right? That the disparity in, that we have to think, is Jussie Smollett going to be treated fairly?
Right.
Like, look at this disparity in sentencing.
Yeah.
You're speechless.
Because, the thing that pisses me off is, like, what can we do? What can you do about this? There's really nothing you can do. You can't go out there and riot. You can't go out there and protest. Nothing is going to change. Like,
well, you can protest, certainly.
But what is that going to do?
You can absolutely protest, and because if you don't protest and you don't say anything, then it's going to continue. So you have to speak up.
So we've been protesting, and it's still continuing.
That would be like, in the 60s saying, you know what? So I have to sit in the back of the bus. Separate, but equal is equal when it's not equal. It's inherently unequal. And you protest. You have to keep protesting. There's no other choice. Okay, that's how you get.
I feel like it was different back in the day with protests.
Nope, still happens. If enough people want it to change, it changes.
That's the problem. That's what I didn't really want to say. So
then the problem is not enough people want change.
Yes.
Well, that's a different story.
Yes.
That's a different story. So you have to basically.
We are not the same from when we were back in civil rights era.
You don't think enough people want change?
And there might be enough people who want change, but it's not enough people who will actually do anything and sacrifice to make that change.
That's a different situation.
It is, but that's what I was basically.
You could speak up.
Yeah, but I'll be trying to tell my people, man, but it's really sad because this kind of stuff will just keep on happening.
All right. All the rest of my news is sad, so I can't even find the funny one to end on a good note. Which guy survived after eating taco sauce? I like to hear about that one. Just tell me about the guy who survived after eating taco sauce. I don't see a guy who survived.
She said at the very end.
Jaguar attacks woman at zoo.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Because she wanted to take a selfie.
Guy. Maybe taco sauce is over here.
Y'all taking these selfies way too far. Y'all taking selfies way too far.
Taking selfies way too far?
Yeah,
you want to talk about selfie? You want to talk about selfie? All right, lady. All right, we'll talk about that, and then we'll end our schmooze with lady who takes attacked by zoo. So you know what happened, Jonathan. The jaguar attacked a woman at the zoo in Arizona. The attack happened Saturday evening at the Wildlife World Zoo in Litchfield Park. The guest crossed over the barrier to get a photo and was attacked by the jaguar.
That is insane.
Yes. So the woman who's in her 30s was taken to the hospital. She will survive. And what happened was Adam Wilkerson said he was at the zoo with his family, and this is what he described.
Oof, ew.
Yeah, without thinking, I had no idea what I was going to see. I just ran over there. I saw this other girl up against the fence with her arm caught in the jaguar's claws.
Oof.
I could see the claws in her actual flesh.
Oof.
In an effort to distract the jaguar, Wilkerson said his mother ran up behind him and shoved her water bottle through the cage. The bottle distracted the jaguar and let go of the victim. When my mom put the water bottle through the gate, the jaguar let go of the girl, and we pulled the girl back, and she collapsed. She's doing okay, but her arm is really bad. She's in pain, like really bad pain. Jesse Garreau tweeted, "Please assure us nothing is happening to the animal due to this stupid human's actions."
You see, and that's the thing, because remember that whole gorilla, the hombre or whatever, hombre or whatever his name is, Harambe.
Right.
They killed him.
Yes.
Because the little kid, and he wasn't even doing anything bad to him.
But the jaguar was doing what the jaguar is supposed to do. Okay, the jaguar doesn't have any logic.
God.
Okay, look at this animal. Does this animal look like it has logic? This animal just has an emotional brain who says, somebody's getting too close to me. I feel cornered.
Right.
I feel cornered. Okay, this is what the jaguar feels. Somebody's coming at me. I feel cornered. And the reason why the jaguar is alive today in this world and is not extinct is because its senses said, when somebody comes close to me and I feel cornered, I should attack.
Right.
Because if the jaguar's senses said, don't attack, I'm going to allow this person to come over and take my picture, 200 years ago, there were no cameras. They would have killed the jaguar.
Right.
So
Yeah.
this is why this jaguar is alive today, because God wanted it to attack somebody and save itself.
Absolutely.
Do you think this jaguar's walking in the wild saying, "Oh, I wonder who's behind this rock"? "Oh, hello, Mr. Lion," No, the jaguar senses said, somebody's coming to kill me. I got to attack back.
Y'all, please. I know y'all like to do it for the gram, but your life is too precious. God. Well, the great news is that the news is not going to kill the jaguar. The zoo is not going to kill the jaguar.
There, nothing's going to happen to the jaguar. Nothing's going to happen to the jaguar.
Good.
Very good.
For her dumb self.
Very good.
All right.
So, Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias, that's all the schmoozing for today.
That's all the schmoozing.
That we can handle. It's all the schmoozing that we can handle in one day.
That was good schmoozing.
All right. Tell everybody to please share while we get into our immigration questions in a minute.
Absolutely. All right, everybody. You already know what we're going to do right now. We're going to answer your immigration questions. But right now, what we need you to do is share this video in order to get the calls that you want, because you already know it gets very entertaining. You guys want to make sure that this gets out to people who need help. So make sure you share it right now. Share it to your page, share it to groups, and also share it in the instant message. Make sure you do a direct message to somebody. Just tag them and send it in their instant message, because that is another way to get the show out. Make sure you show interaction. We love to hear what you guys had to say. Thank you, Tamika, for reminding us about the plane crash in Ethiopia. We like that. We like that you give us news, and we like that you tell us what you feel about the news that we're talking about. So make sure you like, comment, love, laugh face, wow face, sad face, mad face, whatever you want, and also comment. Interaction is key, all right? Also, for YouTube, make sure you also comment. We love to see that, and like the video right now. But most importantly, we want to make sure that you're sharing the video. So just copy the link and send it in a text blast. You could also share it to all social media platforms, but most importantly, share it on a WhatsApp, all right? I have WhatsApp, so make sure you know how to make those groups and just share it in a huge blast, all right? And now, the next segment is Getting Answers. Call with your immigration questions, because Brad is the guru.
The guru of all gurus.
Of all gurus.
The manager of all managers.
The Mac of all Macs. Do you know what the Mac is? That's the Mac Daddy.
Mac Daddy.
Yeah, Mac Zaddy Brad.
Mac Zaddy. Let's go to Abdul. Abdul, how are you? Abdul? Abdul? Abdul!
Yes,
up.
Brad. Yes,
How
Brad.
are you?
I'm sorry. Yes,
It's okay,
Brad.
Abdul. What's going
How
on?
you doing, sir?
What's going on?
What's going? I have a question,
Yes.
and I know you guys were talking about Ethiopian Airlines yesterday. Actually, one of my family member was on that boat.
Was on the plane? What?
On the plane, he passed.
Oh,
Yeah, he died.
my God. My condolences. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Oh,
gosh.
yeah.
It's terrible. I can't think of...
It was terrible. We even
I-
talked to him while he was in the airport. We told him he was going to Mogadishu, Somalia, and then he told me they don't have a flight until tomorrow morning. So I will be having connection from Nairobi, Kenya.
Oh,
So he took that plane.
My condolences. That's terrible. How are you holding up? How are you even able to call us right now?
The family is he was my auntie's son, so the family is actually having a tough time.
Oh my gosh! And
Yeah,
where
I'm
did
calling for
he originally live?
Usually, he never lived in Europe or America. He was living in Mogadishu, Somalia. So he was one of the official government
And
members.
how old was he?
He was 38 years old.
88?
No.
38.
Oh, 38 years old.
So
And he left
young.
behind a family, a wife, kids.
He left behind a wife and 2 kids.
Oh
my
my
gosh.
gosh. I'm so sorry. Abdul.
And what did he do for a living?
He was working for Prime Minister of Somalia. He was, I think, director of protocol for the Prime Minister's office.
So he had a high level
So he
job.
just got a Switzerland conference from Switzerland. He was in
high-level
Switzerland, and then he went to Switzerland, then he came back.
Oh my gosh! My condolences. Terrible. And I assume he was a good guy. You want to tell us a little bit about him?
Yeah, he was. He was a tall guy, big guy, so, you know.
Oh man.
I'm sorry about that.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
Praying for the
and,
family.
Thank you so much,
and
guys.
everybody online is giving your condolences to you. I don't know if you see right now, but everybody who's watching is sharing their condolences with us to you.
Thank you so much for speaking that.
Yeah. Okay. And you called just to. Did you have any other comments you would like to make?
Yeah. I have a question. I called for an immigration question.
Oh, you did?
Actually,
Okay.
my sister, she is in the United States. She has a green card. She applied citizenship, but her citizenship interview is actually a couple of days away from now. But her green card was expired also 2 weeks ago.
That's okay.
She's good?
Yeah, she's good. Don't worry about it. All right. And my
Thank you,
condolences.
sir. I really
Sorry about
appreciate it.
that.
Thank
All
you. You guys are doing a great job.
That's sad. This show's just getting sadder and sadder today.
That got me.
I can't imagine how horrific it would
Yeah,
be.
I'm already afraid. I have
You know?
a phobia of flying already.
Right.
So.
I don't have a phobia of flying.
I do.
I have a phobia of thinking about how horrific it would be to die in a plane crash because you know it's about to happen.
And it's like you can't
you
help
can't
it.
do
You
anything.
can't.
The horror, because I get scared. Like when the plane bounces and then all of a sudden you feel it in your stomach. You're like, oh my God, and you're holding on. Imagine that feeling for like a minute or two. Oh my God, it's a terrible feeling.
Yeah.
One of the worst ways to go.
Yeah. Well, we're praying for your family, bro. Yes.
All right. I'm just thinking about it. I can't talk.
I do not like. Well, I told you, I already have a phobia of flying, so.
I'm flying tomorrow morning.
Well, we're praying for you, brother.
Thank you.
Put the blood of Jesus on you.
Yes. Okay, but we're like, what was the name of the movie again?
I love you, man.
I love you, man.
Yes.
I love you, man.
I love you, man.
I love you, man.
For
Safe
real,
flight.
for real.
Yeah.
Safe flight.
All right. John in New Orleans. John.
Yes, how you doing?
How are you?
Doing great. Hey, I have an immigration question.
Yes.
My immigration question is, I'm under DACA, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was also married, but I wanted to see if I was basically able to do like abusive spouse, because it's like a lot of stuff had went on in my marriage at the time. So I wanted to know if I was like eligible for that.
You are. Right now you can't file a VAWA application until Congress gets their act together, but I'm sure they will get their act together very shortly. But certainly you can put one together. It takes time to put one together, and they're still processing VAWA applications now. So the answer is yes.
So I could still file right now?
Yes. Now, you can
right,
put it together. You can't file it at this moment, but I'm sure very shortly you will be able to, and it takes time to put together, so start working on it.
Okay, one more question. Do you think it will be like a gateway for DACA anytime soon, or no? For like traveling wise.
1 second, I'll find out. Magic 8 Ball says it's certain. It's certain that there will be a way that DACA. I have no idea. How are you asking me to determine the political future? All I know is this is what's happening now. I would assume at some point that there's a political will for people who are in DACA to get through. So I would assume that would happen.
All right, thank you very much.
Hang in there. All right. Asking me the future.
Hey, man, when you give us so much hope,
right,
you feel like you could do whatever.
Magic 8 Ball said it's certain. I'm just reading what the Magic 8 Ball says. All right, let's go to Cordell in Hampton, Georgia.
Hey, Brad.
How are you?
How you doing?
Good. What's going on?
Yeah, I just have a question real quick. My wife, she filed I-765, for me to get my work permit and stuff. Mm-hmm. But my priority date was October the 12th, 2018. But when I checked it there at the 12th, but they didn't send me the work permit or anything, but they had said that they scheduled me as of February 9th. They scheduled us for an interview. They're going to schedule us for an interview. So good. I was wondering how that works,
Go for your interview and get your green card. That's how it works.
They said they didn't give us the date. They said as of February 19th, they reviewed my case and
okay, then
they're
that's
going
a different
to schedule.
story. Then that's a different story.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
They didn't say anything. What you're looking at is a computer. It's a statement on a computer, and the computer says that a preliminary review of your application, and you are ready to be scheduled. It says something, and it ends with you are ready to be scheduled. And ready to be scheduled doesn't mean you will be scheduled immediately, or you'll be scheduled in 3 months, or even be scheduled this year. It just says you're ready to be scheduled. It could be scheduled in 3 years from now. And right now they're backed up 24 months. So all it means is that they reviewed your application, everything looks good. Wait for an appointment, which will be in a long time from now.
Yeah, but I was wondering about the work permit.
It takes about 5 to 6 months right now.
Yeah, but I did it from the 12th. My priority date is the 12th of October 2018.
Yeah, right now they're up to September 22nd, 2018. So you'll probably get it in about another 3 weeks. Well,
when I checked it, they said the 11th. So
I
that's
just
why was
checked. I
calling,
checked
you know.
it 3 hours ago, and they're up to September 22nd.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mhm.
Let's go to Sandra in Boston, Massachusetts. Sandra,
Hi,
how are you?
I'm good. And you?
Good, good.
Yeah, I have two questions. The first one, it's for my friend. She filed a I-130 petition for her husband overseas.
Mm-hmm.
And they denied the case because she was married before to a U.S. citizen. And they said it's because the marriage the marriage had less than 2 years, and they asked her for evidence that the prior marriage was a bona fide marriage, and she sent that, and they denied the case.
Well,
because they said it wasn't enough.
They may believe that the first marriage was a business marriage. So we got to
And
figure
then-
out. So we got.
and then-
It's not enough. It's not enough.
Yeah, and
Let me finish my
and then
sentence.
she appealed. She appealed the case. She put new evidence. So I would like to know how long she gonna take a decision.
3 years. That's the stupidest thing to appeal. You just refile again and do it right. But what I was about to say is that they have to have evidence that this is a business marriage. They can't just presume it because it's less than 2 years. Okay? And if you present evidence to say it's a real marriage and they have no evidence to say it's not a real marriage, they can't do what they're doing. And if you ever are going to appeal, I don't do BIA. I think, filing to the Administrative Appeals Unit, which is where the I-130 would go, would be three plus years of waiting for a rubber stamp. So let me finish my sentence. Wait, stop.
Yeah.
Stop. You got to let me talk because I know you're anxious to get your story out, and I want to give you some advice, and we got to move on. Okay?
All right.
So my advice would be either refile a new I-130 visa petition, withdraw the appeal, and refile a new I-130 visa petition because that will be faster.
Even she appealed?
Even if she appealed, you withdraw it and file a new one. Or alternatively, you sue the government in an administrative appeals action saying that they violated their own rules and procedures, which maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I don't know because I would have to look at the record. Those are the two ways you go about it. I think the AAU is a waste of time.
Oh, okay. And another question. Now she had 5 years with the green card. You think she can file for citizenship?
Who is this person?
The same person.
Well, how is she getting a new marriage if she's had a green card for 5 years? I don't understand.
No.
How's she applying
You
for a
didn't
new green card?
understand, but let me explain to you so quick. She got married to a U.S. citizen, and she entered to the America with the 10 years green card, and she divorced. The marriage, they had some issue about.
Oh, this is about
something.
citizenship? This is about citizenship.
No, they have issue about
Stop. Are you referring to filing for citizenship?
Yeah, if she can file for citizenship.
So then she filed for citizenship based on 3 years of marriage, not 5 years. Now, maybe you said that. I didn't hear the word citizenship ever in your question, but okay.
No, because it was two questions. She's like,
What are your two questions? Don't tell me about anymore. I don't want to hear any more facts. Tell me in 2 sentences, question number 1 in 1 sentence, question number 2 in another sentence. Give me first question, 1 sentence. 1 sentence only.
Question number 2.
Question number 1. Stop.
You're
not following my directions. First question. What is it in 1 sentence?
The first question?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the first question was how long is she going to get a decision from the USCIS because she's appealed the high 130. She's appealed the high 130.
An I-130 is for a green card, and you're now talking about citizenship. So what are you talking about?
Wow. Okay. Listen.
Hold on, because you're not explaining. You need a consultation. I can't listen anymore. Go to the next one. I can't. Gay in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Oh, hi.
How are you?
How you doing? I'm great.
What's going on?
Okay, my husband is petitioning for my son. He resigned in Jamaica. He's a minor. He's 10. So we put in the petition from last year, December. The priority date, I think, is December 24th. And he has a B1 visa. Will expire in June of this year. I was wondering if should I send money to renew his visiting visa or wait until his I-130 being approved?
Well, you can't renew the visitor's visa if you have an I-130 pending, so you got to wait for the I-130.
Oh, okay.
So don't even bother.
Don't even bother. No. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. All right. Just hang in there. And if the I-130 is taking too long, give me a call back.
All right, then. Thank you.
You're very welcome. All right. So the other lady, because we're getting explanations by the Brad Squad.
Oh.
Okay. So apparently she's filed for her husband in another country, and that I-130 was denied.
Okay.
And she also wants to file for her citizenship.
Got you.
Okay. So now there's a very clear answer. If you get your green card through marriage, as a permanent resident, you cannot get married again for 5 years because they're going to presume that the first marriage was fraud. So she got her green card through 10 years.
Gotcha.
All right. And this woman took forever to explain this, but now I understand through one comment by one of the Brad squatters. Okay. So the answer is you can't, if you get your green card through marriage and you enter as a 10-year green card holder, you can get divorced. That's fine. But you can't get married again for 5 years and then file for your spouse because the government's going to think it's a business marriage, which is exactly what happened.
Right.
So you're appealing absolutely nothing. You could show all the proof in the world that marriage number one was real. You could have had 10 kids with marriage number one and then have 10 kids with marriage number two, which would be impossible unless you're having triplets.
Yeah.
Okay? But it doesn't matter. You can't file again for 5 years. That's the law. So she's appealing absolutely nothing.
Oh.
After 5 years, she should file a new I-130. She should withdraw the appeal from the AAU, file a new I-130, and yes, file for her citizenship.
Got you.
All
now
right.
people are understanding.
Got it. All right, let's go. Let's go to Melissa in Brooklyn.
Hi, good evening. How are you guys doing?
How are you?
I'm okay. My question is for my aunt. She was married and her husband passed away.
Mm-hmm.
She already had the 2 years green card. She went in to remove the status, and they basically wrote her a letter and told her that they denied it based on the fact they're thinking the marriage is fake.
How could that be?
Oh, could that be? That's what I'm saying to her. Because when she went in at the first time with her husband, when he was alive, they did not tell her that. So now that the husband is dead, that is what they're doing to her.
Is her name on the death certificate?
Yes. Her name is on the death certificate.
And she has proof that it's a real marriage?
Yes, she do. But the thing is that her husband, I'm wondering if it's the fact that her husband went to jail while he was alive.
No. Well, if her name is on the death certificate and she has proof they live together, then it's her word versus nobody's. So unless they have some sort of negative information, there's no other alternative but legally to approve her. So
yeah, but they wrote her and told her she has to go to court.
All right. So then she needs a good lawyer to go to court and prove that it's a real marriage.
That's what I'm telling her.
Yes.
And her aunt, she's my aunt, but her aunt
another one
is telling her that she should go by herself because she's also battling cancer. She just did the surgery.
Well,
she's pretty much saying if she goes to court, they're gonna pity her. And I'm telling her, I don't think that's smart. She should go with a lawyer.
That's like the dumbest thing in the world because the last thing you want to do is be arrested and be in immigration. I'm serious. And be in immigration jail battling cancer. You would die.
That's the same thing I told her. I said they're gonna put you in jail because legally.
So far, she's done whatever she's done. She's effed it up royally because she didn't even have to go to court. So she's basically I guess the old saying is anyone who represents themselves has a fool for a lawyer, and that's basically what's happening with her.
Yeah. So I'm saying they gave her a letter to go to court in the next 2 weeks. Is it possible for us to still use your office to represent her?
Absolutely. Let me put you on hold.
I was trying to get the number, and that's how I called this number by accident.
This is
What's
the number
to call?
This is the same number.
The same number you call and then you make an appointment?
Yes, this number that you called, which is 1-800-529-5465, is the number to my law office. So you can call and either be put on our show or make an appointment. It's the same telephone number.
Okay. And one more question. Is she illegal now at this point?
She is in deportation. She's not legal, that's for sure. If she were to leave the country, she self-deports.
So if she goes to court 2 weeks from now, there's a possibility they could deport her?
Yes, she could be ordered, possibly deported in 2 weeks. But if I am her lawyer, that will not happen.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Hold on one second.
All right. Bye.
All right. Let's go to Kurt in Hartford. Kurt.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
Good. What's going on?
This question that I want to ask. I am living in the United States. Is this Brad I'm talking to?
You're Brad talking to.
Okay. I have a green card. I'm living in the United States, and my fiance is living in Jamaica, but she have a B1 B2 visa. Mm-hmm. I would like to know if she could travel to the United States and she could get married here with on her visiting visa.
You cannot travel for the purposes of getting married in the United States. It's not a purpose of the visitor's visa.
Okay.
So you're better off to go to Jamaica and get married.
Okay.
If she wants to travel here and be married, the only way to do it is to travel on a visitor's visa, stay 90 days, and then change your mind and say, "Oh wow, I think I'd like to get married."
Oh, okay. Okay, I understand.
All right.
Okay, thank you for the information.
You're welcome.
Hello.
All right, let's go to Kimberly in Chicago.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, Kimberly.
I have a question in regards to my fiance. He currently filed for his citizenship, and they are requesting a copy of his sponsor's certificate of naturalization. However, that's his dad, but they're estranged, and he has refused to give it to him. I'd like to know, what are our options?
What does he need the dad's naturalization certificate for?
That's what they said, because when he already did his interview.
What is he trying to get? What is he trying to do?
He filed for his citizenship.
Ah, okay. So he filed his naturalization, and why they're asking for his dad's citizenship is they're trying to determine if he already derived citizenship through the father. Okay. So did the father become a citizen before he was 18, or he has no idea?
He has no idea, and we've been trying to get the information.
All right, one second. Let me ask another question. Did he ever live with his father?
Yes, for I think the first year that he was here.
Which is when?
I really don't remember, if I'm being honest.
Okay. So what he and we don't speak to the father at all. Was he here before 18?
No, he wasn't.
He came here after he was 18?
Yes.
He never came to the United States before he was 18 years old?
No, he didn't.
Okay, so they're asking him for irrelevant stuff. All right. So, I would write a letter back and say I'm exactly what you're just telling me. I'm estranged from my father. I don't speak to him. I have no access to his naturalization certificate. I'm otherwise entitled to become a citizen. I didn't derive citizenship through him because I entered the United States after I was 18. Period. I would suggest, because they're asking for ridiculous things that have nothing to do with whether or not he's eligible to naturalize, that you should get a lawyer involved.
Okay, thank you.
That would be me, and I can help you even from Chicago. Hold on. Let's go to Tanara or Tamara, I'm not sure who, in Prince George County, Maryland.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi, my name is Tanara, and I have one question about immigration issue. So I came here in 2012, married a U.S. citizen, and the marriage was happened in back home. And after I arriving here, my husband and their family was so mean with me, and they're torturing me mentally and physically.
Who was torturing you mentally and physically?
My husband and his family.
Why? What did they do? Physically?
Physically means, I cannot.
All right, then don't tell me. That's okay. That's okay. Now, it's okay. You had a 2-year green card?
Yes, and I applied
I hope you're not living there now.
No, I'm not living there right now, but I filed for I-751 waiver. And, my case is pending for 4 years from now.
Wow.
So I applied 2015, and every year I have to go and get the stamp,
right.
The I-551. So, and last time when I checked with them, they said my case, and also online I checked, my case is received by field office by 2018, but I did not get any update.
Well, they are unlawfully withholding a decision on your case. They can't withhold this decision for 4 years. That's patently illegal. I don't know what information you provided to them to prove that A, it was a real marriage, and 2, that you were physically and emotionally abused, although it sounds, based on speaking to you, just from your tone of voice, that a lot of this is true, whatever this may be. What you may want to do is have a consultation with us. Let us review in a confidential one-on-one, and you can do it either by coming to my office. We can do it over the phone. I know you're in Maryland. Whatever is easiest for you. We'll review everything, and then if you did everything right, I would suggest that we write a letter saying, hey, government, either give this woman an interview and she's eligible for a green card, or we sue them, one or the other.
Yeah, and also, on that time, I cannot speak English very well.
Where are you from?
And Nepal.
Nepal. Well, you speak very well now.
Yeah, because after that, I study here, and I also taking the consultation from the county since more than 3 years, 4 years.
Well, I can help you. Okay, I can help you. We can, kind of what's called bring this home, which means kind of finish this up. I don't know what happened to her. She just got disconnected. I don't know why that happens. In the middle of a conversation. I can't tell you why that happens. But hopefully we can help her. All right, we're going to go to our last caller, Lorraine. Lorraine, how are you?
Lorraine, you said from New York, from Queens, New York?
I said Lorraine from Queens, New York, correct.
Oh, okay. Yes, my name, I'm in a situation that I'm my husband married me because of a green card, and what I did was to remove the I-30. So right now he's denied, but there was an incident where I found me and him have a fight, and I was the one that was wrongfully arrested in the case. So now he's talking about divorce. And I think what he's want to do, because this is denied, I think maybe he knows about the domestic violence thing, so I think he wants to try to use that. Is there no way to find him against that? Because
whether he gets a divorce from you or not has nothing to do with fighting the VAWA case against you. And no, there's nothing you can do on a VAWA case. The fact that you got into a fight with him and you were arrested not for yelling at somebody, you were arrested because you put your hands on somebody. So that in of itself is evidence of physical abuse to another person. The police said it. So, so yes, he would be able to use that. It's not really being used against you because nothing bad happens to you, but certainly he can use that to try to obtain his green card.
Oh, so there's nothing I can do, because it's not that I abuse him. I try to help him, but he was an infidelity that caused the argument.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, instead of, you got your emotions got the better of you, which is understandable, but you got arrested. So he can definitely use that as proof of, I would use it if I'm his lawyer and say, yeah, hey, immigration, not only I got beat up and the cops said it too, and they arrested my wife.
So there's nothing I can do, even if I prove that it was infidelity.
Even if you prove it. What I would suggest, Lorraine, right, and this is just from me, has nothing to do with immigration law. At some point, your logical brain has to take over from your emotional brain and say, logically, I'm wasting too much time on this guy. Logically, I shouldn't waste one more second thinking about him. He got me arrested. He got me emotional for no reason. He's a no-good louse. He's a liar. He's a cheat. He's everything. But ultimately, me worrying about him is not helping me. It's only causing me more pain and more hurt and causing me more problems. And I think ultimately what you need to do is just, and I know it's hard because it's like right here in your face. This guy is like in your face right here. Look at what he did. Somehow I don't know if you're looking at the screen, but somehow he's still going to be there. But put him over here and look ahead and not worry about him. And then eventually he'll get further and further away. You forget about him and you move on with life and you say, you know what? It was a bad time in my life, but I'm moving on because I'm too good for this and I'm too good to worry. Man got me arrested. Okay, and if he gets his green card, great. But you know what? What comes around goes around. Karma has a way of biting people in the ass, and I'm not going to worry about him anymore. That's how you got to think about it.
So let me ask you a question. What if I annul the marriage now, like to go to my lawyer and say to annul it? Can I annul it? And
yes, that could be helpful, certainly, because then the marriage was null and void. But still, under VAWA, even if it's a void marriage and an annulment, he can still bring a VAWA case. So ultimately, I know you want to hurt him back because that's your emotional side saying it. I'm telling you, let your logic take over and say, I'm not wasting my time on this guy anymore. And move on. Okay, and I'm just telling you this as a friend. And I'm not your friend, but if you are my friend, that's what I would tell you.
All right, thank you very much.
Right. What do you think of that, Jonathan?
You was giving it to them.
All right, I'm good. I'm good with Dr. Phil stuff.
You are. I'm telling you. I told you.
Yeah, I'm good with Dr. Phil stuff.
You keep on solving everybody's problems.
Yes,
that's why they think you could tell the future.
You're right. You got to let that. Christine Bennett said, "Let go of the good, and it's better. Let go of it."
Yeah.
Because nothing good is coming out of this.
Yeah.
And I know it's easy for me to say, and it's easy for everyone to say, let it go, because you're emotional.
Exactly.
Your emotional brain takes over. You're like the panther.
Yeah.
The jaguar, whatever. You know, that jaguar who gets cornered and wants to bite back. That's your animal instincts, that from when we were all cavemen.
Exactly.
Okay.
And you definitely, in those types of situations, you definitely need to get the outside view in,
Yeah.
Because you're not going to be thinking logically.
And it's easy to tell it. It's very easy.
It's very easy.
To say, yeah, forget it. It's not so easy. So the best way to do it is just kind of move him. Say, he's there.
Right.
It's not going to just go away. You're not going to become emotionless. But he's there. Just look this way, even though he's focused somewhere else. Yeah. And as you focus more and more on something else, as time goes by, he'll eventually go away.
Time heals a lot.
That's right.
Yes. I agree.
Yeah. All right.
Dr. Brad.
Our Miami field correspondent, Anna Azcona, discusses what she sees as unfair, which is the current administration throwing the continuation of DACA into the conversation Democrats and Republicans are having, trying to come up with a compromise on the budget and the border wall in another episode of This Just Don't Make No Sense.
Hey friends from the Brad Show Live, I'm Anna Azcona. Trump base wants immigration compromise. Remember that big wall that Trump wants to build to separate the U.S. and Mexico border? That's going to cost over $5 billion. Well, now Trump wants to make a deal if we allow him to build this wall. So here's the deal. If we allow him to build this wall, those under Obama's Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals can remain in the U.S. legally. Trump has tried to end this program that protects students that arrived at such a young age under the DACA program, but he hasn't accomplished that mission yet, so it's still active. According to a poll study, 41% favor the wall being built, 57% oppose, 83% agree with allowing DACA students to remain legal residents, while the other 15% oppose. Now, I don't think Democrats compromising here would make any sense. And I'm saying Democrats because most Democrats are the ones who are opposing for the wall to be built, while Republicans are in favor of it. Building a wall to prevent illegal immigrants to cross and dealing with the situation of illegal children who arrived here at such a young age without consent are two different things that should not be compared. It's not fair to make a decision to keep DACA if the wall gets built because most of these children didn't even cross the border, and if they did, it was without them agreeing to do so. Plus, you're messing with the future of these bright students. So why should a wall determine what their futures will look like? And the crazy thing is that it can be a little selfish if Democrats are the ones opposing, and it can almost be a little selfish to ruin the future for these kids if those opposing the wall still disagree with the wall and don't compromise with Trump. It's like putting them in a difficult situation. Wall and a future for these DACA students, no wall and no future for these DACA students. That just doesn't make any sense.
All right, we're going to go to something we like to call social media check-in, or something we like to call social media check-in. Pew, pew, pew. Pew, pew.
Yes.
Pew, pew, pew.
All right, our first question is from Bella, saying, hey, so I have a question about the marriage interview. I'm married with a U.S. citizen, and both are living in Republic of Georgia currently until I get the visa through it. So I can skip the first interview and wait until another year to pass the interview and obtain a 10-year green card directly. Is this, that was a question. This is because we received the notice from National Visa Center to send documents. So can you please give us directions?
If you want, you could wait one more year and then get your visa 2 years. You have one, from the time you get the notice from the National Visa Center, you can delay for at least 12 months refiling it. You want to get your green card after 2 years, wait 6 months. By the time you go through the National Visa Center, it'll be another 6 months to your visa appointment. Now, just remember, you got to prove it's a bona fide marriage. So the longer you're apart, the harder it is to prove that.
All right, Arturo says, my wife has been here since she was 3 months. I've been with her for 10 years. We have 3 kids together. I'm going to start fixing her papers. I was just wondering if she would have to go home to her home country and for how long. She never applied for advanced parole, but she does have DACA.
It depends on how she entered America. If she entered on a visa, she can get it here. If she entered without inspection, she would have to do a provisional waiver and go home. Unless, of course, she got the DACA under the age of 18, then she does not even have a 10-year bar.
All right. Yolanda says, I have the 2-year green card already. Now I want to go through the fingerprint because I filed the petition to remove condition on my fiance residence so I can have my 10-year residence. They sent me an extension for 18 months. That's going to expire this November. Do I have to go into the interview? What do I have to do?
Eventually, if you don't get anything by September or October, you want to go make an InfoPass appointment to go down to your local immigration office, get a stamp in your passport to extend your green card 1 year.
Jean Prosper says, hello, I have a question for you. If your wife does not live in the same state after the wedding, this will prevent you from renewing your green card by what you have to go to another state to find work.
If you and your spouse are not living together, you are not going to get past your I-751 joint application. I can assure you that.
All right, we have one from an anonymous viewer. Hi, Brad. My question is, my husband and I were not living together, and I do not know where my spouse is. I'm applying for citizenship. What should I write on my N-400 since we're still married? Do I have to tell them that I'm separated? We don't have legal separation paper court work, and God bless your show.
Just say you're separated. You don't know where he is. As long as you've had a green card for more than 5 years, you're entitled to become a citizen.
Jocelyn says, hey, Brad, how does one get approved for I-130 help when you apply for VAWA?
Prove that it was a real marriage and prove you were abused.
All right.
Well, you wouldn't need an I-130. It's an I-360.
Okay.
So she's asking how to get approved on a VAWA. It's an I-360.
So it's an I-360
yes.
instead of an I-130.
Right.
All right, Milrad says, let's see. So now somebody's very worried. So it was his first time. He had to stay in jail for 2 days, as it was the weekend. The battery was not documented by photos. It caused some superficial bruises on her shoulders and neck, which the woman did not want the police to take pictures of, and they didn't. And also the male had bruises on him inflicted by her. They have 2 kids witnessing this, but not endangering them. The first charges were 2 counts of felony for corporal STH and domestic abuse, which Commissioner dismissed. So with this case, do you think that it's more probable to affect his naturalization process or not? What about future job opportunities? As they mostly ask if you've ever been arrested, and if you say yes, you won't be able to explain if your case was dismissed or even a false claim.
It will affect everything. Even affects your kids, even if they were not in any physical danger. Just watching you, mom and dad, fighting and getting arrested, it affects your kids. So for you to say it doesn't affect them, that's just not true. It affects them for life. You have to be careful what you're doing. You don't hit each other. Meanwhile, not done yet.
Yeah,
I didn't answer the question.
No.
Yes, it will affect your citizenship because you were arrested for domestic violence offense, even if it's dismissed. And yes, if you apply for a job and you want to tell the truth, you would say, yes, I was arrested, case dismissed. End of story. You don't have to go through a whole explanation.
Yeah, don't go into details. Just say case dismissed.
Case dismissed.
All right. Ronnie Ali says, can I travel with an I-551 stamp outside of the USA? I don't have any expired green card or recipient.
Yes.
Okay. Fadi says, hey, Brad, I'm living here in Atlanta, Georgia. I came here to the U.S. last year on a B1, B2 visa, my second visit. And I filed to adjust my status in September 2018. My spouse filed the I-485, I-130, I-131, etc. As per the website of USCIS. Case processing time as of today for Natural Benefits Center is September 21st, 2018. We filed on the 26th of September, 2018. Now, on the 6th of March, we received an update on the I-485. Our case is scheduled for an interview, although I haven't received a work permit yet. Should I be disturbed because I haven't gotten a social to get stuff together like a joint bank account, a lease, utilities, etc.? So can you tell me how this works?
If you filed before September 22nd, 2018, you should have your work permit in your hand. When you get a notice saying that your application is ready to be scheduled for an interview, people misunderstand that. We get that question 7 times a show. All it means is that they're ready to schedule you. That doesn't mean that they're ready to schedule you tomorrow. They could hold your case for a year and then schedule. They could hold your case for 2 years and then schedule. 3 months, 9 months, who knows? All they're saying is they got everything to schedule, but when they're scheduled, they'll get around to it. Meantime, you should have your work permit momentarily.
All right, Musini says, I'm married to a U.S. citizen. She has 2 kids with another man. We want to apply for a green card. What is the minimum amount that she should make a year to be able to sponsor me?
2 kids with another man, himself. Is that a total family of 4? Does he have any children himself?
He didn't say he did, so I don't think.
Okay. So, over 30,000.
All right. Rashe Rodriguez says, hey, Brad, my daughter got her conditional green card through her husband after I got mine. Do I need to do a separate I-751 for her? I've been waiting for my removal for over a year now. Her conditional green card will expire this month. So should I wait for them to send a mail for her to file the I-751?
If you got the green card within 6 months of each other, you can put her on your I-751 application. If you got your green card more than 6 months apart from each other, she has to do a separate one.
All right, Sanishia says, should my sworn affidavit state I swear under penalty of perjury because my mother-in-law
By the way, I just want to fix that number because I did the math in my head very quickly.
The
30 over 30. It's actually $31,375.
Okay.
Because I did the math and I was doing the math in my head, but I
So
actually calculated it while you were.
Got you.
So it's $31,375 for a family of 4.
All right. Sanisha says, should my sworn affidavit state I swear under penalty of perjury because my mother-in-law didn't put that in the letter? I asked her to write.
You could say I swear under penalties of perjury. You could say I affirm, however you want to say it.
Sherry Williams says, hey, Brad, if someone came to the U.S. on a visitor's visa for a month, can they get married to a U.S. citizen under 90 days?
You can get married the day you come here, but if you want to get a green card, you got to wait 90 days.
Ashley Thomas says, I did my interview in New York 2017, moved to New Jersey 6 months after the interview. Now I received the G56 notice to my husband, who's the petitioner. Can you tell me what is a G56 notice?
Just some letter from immigration that says something. I don't know what it says, though.
So we need more.
Yeah.
All right. Loretta Brown says, my U.S. citizen husband put in my filing in October. I didn't get my work permit or travel documents, but on the 8th of March, I saw on my status my case is ready and is scheduling.
What do you think the answer is, Jonathan? Didn't we answer this 3 times today? September 22nd is what they're processing for work permits. Being ready doesn't mean you're getting scheduled tomorrow. It could be in 9 months from now.
Got you. All right, Colin says, my friend got married to a U.S. citizen. She filed for him. While waiting for his employment authorization, he got sick and his wife started abusing him. She doesn't want to help him do anything. Then he moved out of the house. Now he has his employment authorization, but his wife said she's not going to the interview with him anytime they are called for an interview. Can he still get his green card without his wife on the interview?
No, he would have to file a separate VAWA application.
Brianna Burr says, good evening, Brad. Can someone on food stamps apply for citizenship?
Yes, they can.
Munchie says, my friend went in for his citizenship. Everything went well, except for they asked when his dad received the citizenship, being that he was the one who filed for him. So he didn't know because
I think we answered. They called on the phone.
Munchie, oh, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had an itch on my ear, and then the F came right.
So they called? They didn't know because the dad won't give it to him? Or even tell him?
Yeah, just say, I don't know where my dad is. I got my green card over the age of 18 and finished my case. And I said they probably need a lawyer at this point.
Got you. Lady K says, I filed my I-130 for my husband who resides in Trinidad. I'm getting ready to file my taxes. What filing status should I use since my husband doesn't have an SS number?
Joint tax return and apply for a W-7 for his tax ID number.
Amanda Newell says, any information on VAWA cases for green cards?
If you've already been approved or you have a pending adjustment, you'll get your green card. If you haven't been approved already, or if you haven't filed yet, you got to wait for a congressional authorization to continue VAWA.
All right. The Jacobs says, do I need to do my medical again if I did one in February 2018 and my interview is April 2nd? My birthday, 2019.
I would think to bring it again just in case.
That's my birthday. It's my birthday. Fatima says, hey, Brad, can my mom file for me for her divorce or file for her divorced daughter who's 26 years old? She's a green card holder. And how many years would it take if she can?
About 7 years.
So you can?
Yes.
Fox Racing says, Brad, I heard that soon all American citizens must, this is good because I actually was talking to my friends about this because I read about this and I wanted to ask you too. Mm-hmm. So I heard that soon all American citizens must obtain a visa in order for them to travel to European countries. And I think what I read, it said like 2021, by 2021.
Correct. But it's not a visa. It's like the ESTA coming from Europe to the United States. So on the ESTA, you just go online and apply for it, and 95% of the people just get it online, and you just come.
And it costs?
And it costs a couple dollars.
Oh.
For Europe, they said 95% of Americans will be able to go online, pay some money. It's basically for security background checks. Okay. Every country has a right to ask whatever they want of other people. They'll charge you a fee to run a security background check on you. And from what I understand, although, I'm not an expert on European immigration, that 95% of the people will get approved online and 5% of the people will be asked to go to some sort of interview.
All right. Joelle says, my wife was in deportation since 2003. She never left the U.S. Then I married her and filed an I-130 petition that was approved in 2009. but the chief counsel denied to reopen in a joint motion. Now she's been living under TPS since 2011. I would like to know if I can apply for an I-131 petition in order to bring a new life to the old I-130 petition.
Yes, and then you would need to still reopen the case.
Ciao Bella says, positive vibes only.
Right.
I like that. Hey Brad, if my wife receives food stamps and Medicaid, should I just have my second sponsor petition for me instead of her? I'm not sure.
Well, there's no such thing as second sponsor, but if your wife gets food stamps, and you need a second affidavit of support, but they may deny you anyway because the wife's on every government assistance known to mankind.
So you should go with the other.
No, you should get off of food stamps and Medicaid if you can, and still going to need a second affidavit of support.
All right.
Obviously, don't starve to death.
Yeah. So how about if they can't?
Then you can't get a green card. Because the law says your spouse has to be able to support you 125% above the poverty level. And if they can't, you could always get a second affidavit of support, and they could take in the totality of circumstances about whether or not you can be supported 125% of.
What's 125% over the poverty?
That's the numbers I was just reading. So if a family flow is 31,000.
So it depends on the family size.
Now, what most officers would say is, spouses on food stamps, Medicaid, and getting every government assistance, what makes us believe that you're not going to do the same? We don't want to bring people in from another country and have taxpayers pay for all this stuff. Which makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Sophie says, good evening. My priority date is the 2nd of August, 2018. How long do you think I have to wait for child filing for a parent?
About a year to a year and a half.
Okay. And we have one from an anonymous caller. I applied for the 601 waiver in May last year, and I approved the I-130 in 2012. No criminal record, and I have 3 kids and fingerprints in May. And I left the U.S. 6 months ago, and now I don't have. I can't really read that, but can you kind of
Why don't you just read the question as
that
is? All right, so read it again, exactly as is.
Okay. I applied for the 601A waiver in May last year, and I approved the I-130 in 2012. No criminal records, and I have 3 kids and fingerprints in May, and I, Lavada, the U...
Left.
Okay. The U used 6 minutes, go SA. Now I don't have INSU.
Okay, so it sounds like she was out of status, applied for the provisional waiver, left before it got approved, and now she's out of the country.
Sheesh.
So you're going to need to just go apply for the green card in your home country and apply for the waiver there.
Got you. I wouldn't have got that.
That's what I got.
This is why you do what you do, and I do what I do.
That's right. And it seems to work.
It does.
It seems to work.
Let me refresh real quick because I think that might be it.
All right. So last week, Jonathan, J.P. Morgan Chase announced that they were no longer going to bank or finance the private prison industry. Now, you remember, it's a lot of people's opinions, including ours, is that the private prison industry is just making money off of jailing people, which is one of the reasons why we have a militarized zone in the Southwest, and why we have family separations and more people in jail and the national emergency. It's all about making money.
Right.
A big reason that J.P. Morgan Chase is no longer funding private jails is because of the pressure and protest that the public put on J.P. Morgan, thus answering your question, why protest?
Yes.
So last October 1st, people across the country marched against corporations that conduct businesses with immigration and customs enforcement during a no business with ICE day. Now you yourself, Jonathan, went out to cover the New York City march. It started at Rockefeller Center and ended in front of the Manhattan Microsoft building. And we thought this would be a good time to remind you, Jonathan, that protests do actually work. Because in the end, this protest turned into a movement, which turned into J.P. Morgan Chase, no longer, as of last week, funding private detention facilities. Let's watch.
ICE! Abolish ICE! Abolish ICE! Abolish! No nation! No more deportation! No more
Hey Brad Squad, today we are at the No Business with ICE National Day of Action at Rockefeller Center in New York City. Across the country, hundreds of people are marching together to take action against these big corporations that support ICE. We're going to be following some protesters today. I don't know exactly where we're going to go, but they're going to take us to some major corporations that actually support ICE. ICE is supported by private tech companies, hospitals, local police departments, airlines, and so many more big corporations. Remember, there are still 12,800 children that are in detention centers. The Trump administration is proposing new regulations to detain children indefinitely. But the protesters here today are speaking against that. Let's go hear what they have to say.
No borders, no nations, no more deportation. No borders, no nations, no more deportation.
Mass deportation
is on your hands. On your hands, get profit. Immigrants over profit. Microsoft, get with it. We won't be complicit. We are here because Microsoft has a contract that directly supports ICE. The contract is $19.4 million. So we're here to ask Microsoft to cancel their horrendous contract with ICE. Don't play nice with ICE. Don't play nice with ICE.
So like we said, I didn't know exactly where we were going to walk to, but the protesters actually brought us in front of Microsoft, who's allegedly or supposedly one of the biggest corporations that does business with ICE. And now they are actually attempting to walk in. You can actually see them inside the store with their signs protesting. This is amazing. This is crazy to see. The police are all over. They're very peaceful right now, but we're going to continue to check this out. Why do you think it's important to be here, especially in front of these major corporations? And do you think that they will end, business with ICE with you guys being here protesting?
Well, I'm no expert on the subject of contracts, but I'm a tourist on holiday. I live in London in the UK. Very similar issues in the UK. And the key issue is about big business needing to have some ethical practice and enforced deportation and separation of families and children has been well publicized around the world, and it's America's shame.
We're part of COSECHA, which is an immigrant-led movement. We're fighting for the permanent protection of the 11 million undocumented immigrants in this country. And that's COSECHA, that's the movement that I'm a part of.
Why do you feel like it's important to speak your voice?
Because there are over 12,800 children who are still in detention. And families are being torn apart all over this country. There's ICE raids everywhere around the country, separating families, not just on the border, but everywhere within the country.
In our neighborhood of Bushwick, where we live, there are deportations that are happening literally on our streets. People that are being dragged out of their bed in the middle of the night and just pulled and detained and ripped from their families. And the fact that you have these major corporations that are actively participating in collaboration with ICE is just, it's disgusting, and no one is holding them accountable on a large scale.
And it's an international issue because what Trump allows in America then enables awful right-wing anti-immigrant practices to, they feel they've got permission around the world. So it's an international issue, although it's particularly affecting America.
What are other major corporations that you know of that support ICE?
There's a lot of corporations that support ICE. There's Amazon is a big one. We had 2 different actions against them recently. The last one on July 31st when we shut down their Amazon bookstore, also in Midtown. There's also all sorts of airlines support them. There's private prisons like Geo Group and Core Civic. There's banks like Wells Fargo. All of these places, all of these private corporations, banks, they all support ICE. And we don't usually hear about it. But they definitely enable ICE to do what they do. And if they did not support ICE and if they canceled their contracts and did not invest in ICE, then ICE would, they would not be able to function because they would not have the money, they would not have the resources to do what they do, which is to terrorize the people in this country and terrorize families and rip them apart.
That is why it's important for us to come out here and use our voices and try to disrupt the normal operations of these businesses.
What are these businesses and corporations actually saying about why they are working with ICE?
I think that what they're saying is that, they're participating in a contract that serves to provide ICE with the equipment that is used to detect people and surveil people and figure out where they live, what their identity is, whether or not they're undocumented.
Microsoft is one of them. They have a $19.4 million contract with ICE, and they provide data support and also facial recognition software to them. And we cannot let that happen. They need to cancel their contract.
Clearly don't need the money. Look at the store. They don't need the money.
Right.
They got Xbox.
I want you to look at the camera and talk to the immigrants out there.
We are here for you because we are a community, regardless of our differences, regardless of our backgrounds. We need to stand together as people, especially since a lot of these things are happening on our very streets, are happening to those we care about, those we grew up with. And I just want to say that there's so many of us and so few of them, and thus we must protect each other at the same time, respecting that everybody here is a human being, and no human being should be in cages.
I can only say I feel for them. I'm a mother. I've got a daughter. I can't begin to imagine the heartbreak that's involved in being forcibly separated from your child, and for the children to be forcibly separated from their parents, particularly their mothers. It's absolutely immoral. Terrible.
Well, there you have it. Today was very eventful. You saw protesters going into the Microsoft building. You have protesters from not just around the country, but from around the world fighting against these major corporations that are still supporting ICE. I hope that you guys will get used to this because we're going to be covering a lot more protests, okay? Back at the studio.
All right. So we're going to go to round two. Round two.
Round two.
Which way? This way. 4. Round 2. Social media check-in. Didn't have you on camera. Jonathan might have a much better too. Round 2. Round 2. Pew, pew. Pew, pew.
All right.
I'm from Space Force. Pew.
All right. This is why we need Kim here. All right, we have one from Tam saying, question, is it mandatory to receive a conditional green card if married less than 2 years, or is it the immigration officer's discretion to issue a 2 or 10-year card?
No, it is mandatory. If you get a green card before the end of your second anniversary of your marriage, it's a 2-year. After 2 years, it's a 10-year. It's just strict law. No discretion.
All right. Ola Simbo says, hey, Brad, without filing an I-693 form concurrently, will it delay getting a permanent residence in the USA?
Without
I-693 concurrently?
What's an I-693? Is it the medical?
Possibly.
I don't know what the I-693 is. I gotta
it's
look
an
up
I-693 form.
Gosh, I gotta make me look up form numbers now?
Hey, man.
Hey, man. You gotta do what you gotta do, right?
All right, so Simbo needs this.
Yeah, he needs to know this answer, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't want to take a guess on what the I-693 is. That's the medical exam. I was right. No, it will not delay. Bring it to your interview.
All right. Emily Baldwin says, hey, my brother-in-law filed the I-765 for his work authorization, which he does every 6 months. He did it since September 2018. He hasn't received anything yet. Is there anything he can do to see what's going on?
He hasn't received it since when?
2018, September.
Well, September 22nd is the date. So if he filed before September 22nd, you should have it. Call me if it's before September 22nd.
Okay, Ricardo says, Brad, I need you to represent me. I got married before 30 days after entering the U.S. I didn't plan to do so, but we are crazy in love. What can you do for me?
I can file a really good waiver for you, and hopefully you'll get your green card. Come see me.
He needs you, brother.
He needs me. He's crazy in love.
Yeah, he's crazy in love.
You know, love makes you do crazy things.
It does.
Right?
It does.
I wish I could sing.
I wish I could too.
Don't you wish Don't you wish you could sing?
I do. God
Can
did
you
not want to give
imagine?
that
Can you
to me.
imagine me and you singing in a duet right now, a love song?
We would be
Not to each other,
not to each other,
but just to the squad.
To the squad.
But neither of us could sing.
No,
So it's
I
not
could
gonna happen.
lip sync. That's it.
It's not gonna happen.
No, it's not. All right. We have a next question. Brad, this is our friend from Mauritania. Brad, please help me in my case.
This is going to be a long one, I think.
This is going to be a long one. You
Yes.
already know.
I already know. Mauritania means only one thing: long questions.
Yes, I'm gonna call her Mauritania because it's an Arabic name. So, Mrs. Mauritania, I'm really very, very worried. I don't know why the U.S. Embassy in Mauritania put me on AP over than 90 days I'm waiting since the time. I've been invited from Howard University in the U.S. to attend a conference on December 18th, 2018. I don't know why I'm still on AP. While some of the people on the same situation got their visa after 2 weeks, some of them only 8 days. I want to know if there's a chance to be approved or not. I live out of my country now. Yeah.
Magic 8 Ball. Did you hear that question?
Mm-hmm.
It says my sources say possibly. This is what the Magic 8 Ball says.
Right.
Okay, it's as much I know as much as the Magic 8 Ball, whether the U.S. Embassy. Now, there's something you can do about it. What you can do about it is you can call my office, hire us. We'll call the Embassy in Mauritania, find out what the problem is, and then instead of using the 8 Ball, give you real, true hashtag true facts.
Right, because
about
there's
what's going on.
Yeah, there's no
I
way
don't
you
know.
can.
How would I know?
Tell.
I know as
what's
much as the
wrong.
Magic 8 Ball.
Exactly.
Right.
So you're gonna have. Yeah, you're definitely gonna have to
Yeah.
call. So Brad
Have a
can
consultation,
call.
right.
Yeah. All right, Chabela said, will it be faster for my lawyer to receive medical records for my parents? They're very sick and unable.
Your parents are sick and unable, and what is that going? What is?
Will it be faster for my lawyer
No,
to
you're
receive
not going
medical
to.
records?
You're not going to get anything sped up because your parents are sick.
Okay.
And disabled, I guess.
Oh, maybe it was disabled.
Disabled,
It says unable.
Yeah, I would assume disabled.
Okay. Diodat says, what age can a child sponsor their parents?
21.
Christina Edwards said, hey, I had some issues with my tax return. We filed jointly, but I was told I owed IRS money. However, we paid. As a result, I didn't get any money, neither state nor fed. My husband put single head of the household, 0 allowances on the W-2. So the tax man told me to do the same on my W-2s in order to get better refund next. However, we will correct the adjustment on the W-4 to jointly because he told the He told us the IRS not seeing the W-2. Is this possible? And will it affect when I'm filing jointly next year?
That is a tax question.
This is.
That is well beyond my expertise.
I knew the answer before, but I wanted to read
Carmela,
it all because Carmela.
My answer is Carmela. It's a free consultation to speak to her, so you might as well get the same telephone number. You call her. Same telephone number, 1-800-529-5465. It's free to talk to her. Ask her question. You'll speak to her. She's dope. She's a good tax attorney.
Yes, I'm actually about to use her because I don't get no money back either. I got to pay. So Collins says, how long VAWA take to be approved?
Over 2 years now.
Change name says, hey, Brad, my grandfather filed for my mother before he passed away last year. We both came to visit on a B2 visa and stayed. I'm 25. My mother has an interview at the end of the month. Will I get a green card or just my mom? The papers were filed before I was 21.
It's possible you fall under the Child Status Protection Act, but I would need to see the records to see.
Amanda Newell says, any more info about VAWA?
No, not at the moment, but hopefully when I return next week, I'll fill you in, guys, in what's going on.
Vanish Beckford said, Brad, or if you're I-1 or I-30, maybe it's I-130. Is there an I-30?
I-130.
Okay, that's what I thought. So if the I-130 is approved in January, how long does it take for the visa center to get your file?
About 8 weeks.
Munchie says, so my daughter's papers are all accepted by NVC. When will she get a date for the interview?
From the time that they transfer the file to the embassy, about 8 weeks.
All right, and let me see one more. Let me just check real quick. We do have a couple more. Ashley Thomas says, hey, Brad, I did my interview in New York in 2017, moved to New Jersey. I think we talked about this. So it said come to an interview and bring all supporting documents, and I should also go with the same list I got when I was going in for the first interview. It's a marriage-based interview.
What is the question?
So they received the G56 notice to the husband who's the petitioner. So remember it said, what is a G56?
Right.
So she was saying it said come to an interview and bring all supporting documents, and I should also go with him. The same list I got when I was going in for the first interview. So it's a marriage-based interview.
Yeah, so you got it. It's an interview notice.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you got.
So that's good.
Yeah.
All right. Rose says, as a stepdad, what form can I fill to bring my stepdaughter in from Africa? And what other documents do I need to add?
If your marriage was under the age of 18, you file an I-130, the marriage certificate between you and the mother, any divorce certificates, death certificates, and the child's birth certificate.
Lovely Mimi says, hey, Brad, would it affect my immigration status if I file single?
If you're married, it affects it, yes.
All right. And that's it.
That's it. Are we having problems on Facebook again?
No.
My Facebook has gone down 3 times.
Not mine.
I hope not.
No.
I hope that's not the case. Okay.
Mine is okay.
Fine. With that said, I do want to remind everybody, we will not, unfortunately, I know, I will be in the Caribbean. Soaking up the sun. But I will be back on Monday for a full week next week on Bradshaw Live. Belgium Kim will be back from her extended time off. Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias will
I'll be back from my trip.
Will be back from his trip as well. And we will be all back, the 3 of us, live a week from Monday. In the meantime, you can follow me on Instagram at Real Brad Bernstein. It's my new Instagram account. You'll see pictures from where I am in the Caribbean.
Are you going to show pictures?
I will show pictures. In addition, so you can follow me on, if you choose to, at Real Brad Bernstein. It's up for 2 days now, 48 hours.
I think you guys should.
In addition, we will have clips from the show starting very soon, every day. In addition, we will have true success selfies, so you can read about other people and how they were successful dealing with me.
Yes.
So it'll be a little immigration and a little travel.
There you go.
That's the Instagram.
That's
and a little Brad.
Thing. Yeah.
A little combination of the 3.
You guys can follow me as well if you would like to.
Where?
Well, I'll be going to Atlanta. I will be doing a photo shoot for a magazine cover. It was a Greek magazine cover because I'm a Kappa, not the actual Greek, like fraternities. But yeah, you can follow me at Jonathan Elias TV. And it's always pretty fun and litty.
And they're asking me if I'm going to be in Jamaica. I'm going to be in St. Lucia.
St. Lucia? He's not going to Jamaica yet because we're all going to go together.
I've been to Jamaica a lot.
Right.
I've been to Jamaica
I haven't.
like I don't know, 15 times in my life. Never been to St. Lucia. So I said I want to learn about other places.
Awesome.
Yes. All right, with that, comments of the day.
All right, our first one is from Pat Warfall saying, hey, Brad, this is your fan, Pat, Irvington, New Jersey. Since my wife is watching you now, you solved the problem, LOL. You are more than a lawyer. I love you guys.
I like that.
Yeah.
Very good. I
more
like
than
that.
a lawyer.
More than a lawyer.
I like that.
More than one.
This is true.
Yes.
This is true. Dr. Brad.
Yes.
All right, our second one comes from YouTube. Tanisha Tennant saying, squad up, family. Brad and team. Happy Monday to the best immigration program with the most intelligent and very informative lawyer, Mr. Brad.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah. All right, our third one is from Ashley Thomas on YouTube saying, I want to go make a cup of coffee and can't move. I'm stuck on the show. Man.
Guess what? I wanted coffee too, and I was stuck on the show.
I didn't even get mine.
I didn't get mine either. Right? And I'm sitting here 2 hours saying, boy, I would love some coffee. I'm stuck on the show.
Right. So I feel your pain.
We're all the same. We're all the same.
I feel your pain.
We're all the same.
All right, our other one comes from Asset Lindo on Facebook saying, I said this already and I'll say it again. Brad is just the man. He's a counselor, lawyer, reporter, comedian, whatever you want, he got. You go, Brad.
That's right. I'm a, what is it called? I'm a triple threat.
You're a triple, no, that's more than a triple threat.
It's more than that. I'm a quadruple threat, baby.
Yeah.
Some type of threat.
You're that guy.
Multi-talented.
Multi-talented.
But I can't twerk and I can't sing.
I mean,
it's where it kind of ends.
Listen, you can't have it all.
I'm very good as long as I'm sitting.
right. You can't have it all.
Once you need me to move, it's a different story.
And our last and final comment for the week comes from Princess on Facebook saying, I watched the show so much, I can even help out Brad now and answer some of his questions.
Right, I like
that
it.
is so true.
That is true.
Because we're all learning.
Right, you learned a lot, right?
I learned a lot.
Right.
Like now I actually can like answer people's questions, especially my families when they ask like certain questions.
Yeah, you can answer, right?
Yeah. And trust me, before this, I didn't know nothing.
I remember when you came for the interview and I interviewed Jonathan, he's like, I don't know how I can help this show.
What do you guys want me to do?
I don't know how I can help this show because I don't know anything about immigration. So I said, Jonathan, just sit there and be you and you'll help the show. All right? And there it is. There it is. All right, everyone, have a great week. I'm sorry. We're going to miss you just as much as you're going to miss
they're all
us.
crying.
I know, but we will be back on Monday. I promise you. I promise you. And we'll have lots of fun in 7. Don't cry, Jonathan.
I'm so sad.
We're going to have lots of fun in about 7 days from now. Okay? Sometimes it's good. All right? If you love somebody, you let them go free.
Yeah.
And if they come back, then they love you.
This is
and
true.
If not, then you never had them.
Ooh.
So you know, if we're back on Monday, we love you just as much as you love us. We'll see you next Monday. So Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
What are you doing?